You're welcome to the news on NTA International. I'm Nancy Godi Angunihu, and on sign language is John Pamidele. We begin with the headlines. President Tinubu to embark on a state visit to China first week of September. Minister of Information visits BBC, says deepening mutual understanding between Nigeria and organization is critical to more informed society. Nigeria's First Lady calls for enforcement of stiffer laws and punishment to perpetrators of sexual abuse. Plus, UN Secretary General issues global SOS on fast-rising Pacific Ocean. Now the details of the news. President Bola Tinubu is to embark on a state visit to the People's Republic of China in the first week of September. Presidential advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, announced this at a press briefing just concluded at the State House. The presidential spokesperson said President Tinubu, at a meeting with his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, is expected to sign memorandum of understanding on various aspects of the economy. These include green economy, agriculture, media, enterprise development and promotion, blue economic development. Mr. Ngelale says the president is also scheduled to engage in activities that will have immediate and future benefits on the nation's economy and its people, particularly on information technology, financial services, oil and gas, aluminium production, satellite technology development, as well as constructions.
Site visits to two major Chinese corporations, Huawei Technologies, as well as the China Construction Corporation, CRCC. This is with a view to achieve one of Mr. President's top agenda items, which is the completion of the Ibadan to Abuja segment of the Lagos to Kano high-speed rail line.
The president will also attend 2024 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, also scheduled for the 4th to the 6th of September.
This engagement is expected to yield very tangible, immediate, and future dividends for the sake of the Nigerian economy and for the benefit of the Nigerian people. And the president is placing a premium on deliverables, ensuring that this is not a talk shop, but that this is something that will yield results for our people, justifying any expenditure that is made during the course of this trip.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called for the enforcement of stiffer laws and punishment to perpetrators of sexual abuse and other forms of gender-based violence in the country. She made the call at the First Gender and Social Norms Summit 2024, organized by the United Nations Populations Fund, UNFPA, in collaboration with the Renewed Hope Initiative. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports the summit again puts the spotlight on the menace of gender-based violence.
Whereas recent statistics suggest improvement in female genital mutilation and few other issues that affect women and the girl child, still gender-based violence is an abiding reality, challenging the ability of women to enjoy their womanhood and contribute to national development. Social and gender norms, both described as rules and expectations that define acceptable standard within a group or roles within the family, have been identified as underlying factors by experts who are gathered at this summit, organized in partnership with Renewed Hope Initiative to build needed solidarity against the menace. Leading the charge, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says while state-specific action plans are developed and allocation of adequate resources are promoted in government budget to support gender equality initiatives, law enforcement must be prioritized to stem violence against women.
Even our babies are violated. Do we allow this trend to continue, or do we look the other way? That is why I'm calling on the law enforcement agencies, the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Chairman of the National Assembly, to appropriate for stiffer laws and punishments for perpetrators of rape, sexual violence, and other forms of gender-based violence. No guilty party should be allowed to go free and start roaming the streets looking for the next victim.
In many communities across Nigeria, social norms drive misconception and cultural barriers, hindering the uptake of family planning being not only a crucial health intervention, but also a cornerstone of gender equality and women's empowerment.
The first point of call is, of course, to ensure that all our girls attend school.
We, the Ministry of Women Affairs, will move further to make sure there will be consequences if you commit such crime.
Getting the buy-in of the subnationals and traditional institutions is key.
We are working at the grassroots to support you in getting your programs done.
And as a token of their commitment to carry the torch in their respective states, wives of state governors joined the First Lady to sign a compact agreement on the resolutions of the summit. From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, NTAi, NTA News.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says a deepening of mutual understanding between Nigeria and the BBC World Service is critical to a more informed society. He said this during a working visit to the British Broadcasting Corporation headquarters in London. Idris' visits to the BBC is part of a bridge building and cooperation effort between Nigeria's Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation and foreign and local media houses. At a meeting with the BBC's top management, headed by Mr. Jonathan Monroe, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the BBC News and Director of the BBC Service, Idris canvassed fostering understanding as a key element in driving development. He also underscored the vital role the BBC plays as a long-standing narrative of the Nigerian political journey, saying that it was important for the BBC to balance its reporting on Nigeria by highlighting the progress and successes of the country and adopting deliberate content that inspires hope for a brighter future. He noted that one of the key challenges amongst the youth in Nigeria and the world over is the rapid spread of misinformation, disinformation and fake news, which he said hinders progress and erodes trust between government and the people. The minister praised the BBC's expanding their operational reach in Nigeria by creating more language options in Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba and Pidgin, saying it has helped in the cascading of information and the employment and of many more Nigerians. Senior Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga will represent his country in a bid for African Union's top post. The veterans politician vows to work with the 55 member states African Union Commission to serve the interest of the vast, voiceless majority of Africans. Comfort Fashion has details.
4 senior African politicians from Djibouti, Kenya, Madagascar and Mauritius are contesting to take over the African Union's top post. The pan-continental body, which has 55 member states, will hold elections at its summit in February 2025 to choose a successor to Musa Faki Mohammed as chair of the African Union Commission. This year, the role is reserved for a representative from East Africa to replace Faki, a veteran politician who has served since 2017. The African Union issued a statement listing the 4 candidates as Mahamoud Ali Yusuf of Djibouti, Raila Odinga of Kenya, Richard Radriamandrato of Madagascar, and Anil Gayan of Mauritius.
My plan is to work with you, Your Excellencies, and make the AU more people-centered and serve the interests of the vast, voiceless majority of Africans.
Djibouti's Yusuf also said he is the only candidate capable of bridging the gap between the different regions of Africa, being French-speaking, but also English and Arabic-speaking. The 58-year-old has been Foreign Minister of the Horn of African Nation since 2005. Guyane 76 served as Foreign Minister of the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius between 1983 to 1986 and again from 2000 to 2003, and has since held other posts including at the Tourism and Health Ministries. Likewise, Randra Mandrato was Madagascar's foreign minister from March to October 2022, but was fired after voting at the United Nations to condemn Russia's annexations of 4 Ukrainian regions. The election is conducted by secret ballots, and the winner must secure a majority of 2/3 of the votes among eligible member states. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the recent riots did not happen in vacuum, but they revealed a deeply unhealthy society. He said this during a press conference at London's 10 Downing Street. Keir Starmer on Tuesday warned that life in Britain will get worse before it gets better in his first major speech since taking office. Starmer, whose Labour Party was elected by a landslide on July 4, is expected to use the speech to ramp up attacks on the legacy left by ousted Conservatives. His comments come after criticism that Labour is seeking a pretext to raise taxes, despite pre-election promises that certain taxes would not be hiked.
Black hole. And that's why we have to take action and do things differently. And part of that is being honest with people about the choices that we face, how tough this will be. And frankly, things will get worse before they get better.
The Prime Minister will also address the recent riots sparked by a mass stabbing in which 3 young girls aged between 6 and 9 years old attending a Taylor Swift themed dance class were killed. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has voiced a global climate emergency on Save Our Seas SOS at a Pacific Islands summit on Tuesday. And heavy rainfall in Sudan has led to the busting of the country's dam. Comfort Fashion reports.
The World Meteorological Organization has been monitoring tide gauges installed on the Pacific's famed beaches since the early 1990s. A new report released by the top UN climate monitoring body showed seas had risen by around 50 meters in some parts of the Pacific in the last 30 years. The global average was 9.4 centimeters, according to the report. And United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, while addressing the summit, issued a warning on worldwide catastrophe that is putting the Pacific paradise in peril.
The reason is clear. Greenhouse gases, overwhelmingly generated by burning fossil fuels, are cooking our planet. And the sea is taking the hit, literally.
Reports say some sites, particularly in Kiribati and Cook Islands, measured a rise that matched or was just under the global average.
Surging seas are coming for us all, together with the devastation of fishing, tourism and the blue economy.
Rising seas are swallowing up scarce land and tainting vital food and water sources. And in Sudan, the Erbat Dam, located in Red Sea State, collapsed under the pressure of torrential rains, leading to catastrophic flooding that swept away farms, villages and vehicles downstream. The dam, which has a capacity of 25 million cubic meters, was a crucial source of drinking water for Port Sudan, where the military government is headquartered.
The government's delegation reported that about 70 villages around the dam have been affected by the flash flooding, of which 20 villages have been destroyed. The collapse has left the city and surrounding areas without a stable water supply, further complicating the lives of residents already battered by 16 months of civil war. The flooding has also damaged a major fiber optic cable, causing a widespread communication outage across several parts of the country. The ongoing war, which displaced millions, has led to widespread famine, the recent extreme weather only worsening the dire situation. Comfort, Fashion, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly.
Did you know?
Thanks for staying with us. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has inaugurated the National Task Force for Antimicrobial Resistance Stewardship in an effort to mitigate the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance AMR through a coordinated national strategy. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the team of health experts are to coordinate AMR strictly on human rights.
64,500 deaths in Nigeria have been attributed to antimicrobial resistance, according to 2019 health survey. To stop further devastation on human health and enhance surveillance systems to monitor resistance patterns and promote public awareness about the responsible use of antibiotics, this National Task Force for Antimicrobial Resistance Stewardship is inaugurated to, among other things, spearhead national initiatives aimed at controlling the misuse and overuse of antibiotics and other antimicrobial agents.
This task force will support in several areas of our national antimicrobial research, surveillance, and antimicrobial stewardship. Activities will be developed around 3 thematic areas, which are as follows: coordinate AMR surveillance and research activities in humans in the country.
I therefore charge the task force members to bring expertise to bear and commit themselves to this important national assignment in line with the terms of reference as we seek to improve population health and build a resilient health system.
The team, which comprises healthcare professionals and international partners, is to address these challenges through coordinated action and strategic planning.
I hope that everybody will work with us, people in healthcare institutions, the public, other agencies, give us information that we need to move forward and put everything together in a way that everybody can access and understand what is going on.
We will continue to support AMR in implementing a science and evidence-based interventions and innovations, scaling up the actions in Nigeria.
Antimicrobial resistance happens when microorganisms resist antimicrobial medicines that are meant to kill them or limit their growth. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Nigeria can achieve the desired economic development within a short period only if government promote accountability and shun corruption in their operations. This was the unanimous submission at a meeting convened in Abuja by the Accountability Lab. At the meeting were representatives of several agencies, including the EFCC, ICPC, paramilitary organizations, Office of the Government of the Federation. Participants took a look at the effectiveness of anti-corruption policies which need to be done.
The Global Governance Efficiency Index and the Corruption Perception Index paint a picture of a public service grappling with inefficiency, corruption, and a lack of responsiveness.
Before you even talk about corruption, this small basic of lack of credible information or public information in the public domain, talk about service delivery, it's all of this trust that breaks the trust. So we are trying to also close that gap.
We should also have a hall of fame. People who are doing good things in our country so that people can come and see that this is not a country of criminals and crooks that we usually feed people.
Two-day Integrity Innovation Lab aimed at supporting the development of a culture of integrity within government and governance. The objective of the present administration to curb housing challenges and ensure the delivery of quality, accessible and affordable housing to Nigerians. It is in line with these goals that the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Ngiwa, inaugurates the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria with mandates. Francis Udojo has more.
ESVABON board, which we are inaugurating, should focus on its mandate, which include determining who qualifies as estate surveyors or valuers. We have to establish the required standards of knowledge and skill for those seeking registration as estate surveyors and valuers. Also to maintain a register of qualifications and publishing the list periodically. I hereby include the estate surveyors and valuers registration board of Nigeria.
Part of the objectives mentioned by the minister is for the ESVABON board to regulate and control the practice of estate surveying and valuation and other mandates as conferred by the Act of 1976.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has mandated the Federal Minister of Housing and Urban Development to transform the housing sector. Therefore, all agencies, institutions and prestataries under the ministry must be alive to their responsibilities and work hard towards achieving the objectives for which we are set.
As we embark on this new chapter, the board will continue to significantly contribute to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy.
The ESVABON chairman, Joseph, added that the focus of the board will be to strengthen its regulatory framework, promote innovation and technology adoption, among others. The group, however, recommends that estate surveyors and valuers be drawn into the renewed Hope Housing Plan of government as consultants for prompt delivery. Francis Udojo, NT News.
The Northeast Development Commission says its 10-year strategic plan of action for the rebuilding, rehabilitation and recovery of the region requires more utilization of demographic data in providing baseline that can be used in monitoring and evaluating the impact of the plan on the people. Managing Director of the Commission, Mohammed Al-Khali, stated this when he received the Chairman, National Population Commission, Nasiru Isa Kwara, and his management team on a courtesy visit to his office. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
With data collection, one can gather and measure information on variables of interest in an established, systematic fashion to provide answers to research questions, test hypotheses, and evaluate outcomes. And all the activities of the Northeast Development Commission requires effective utilization of data collection, which made this collaborative meeting timely and mutually beneficial to both parties. The NEDC boss did not hesitate in embracing the idea of the collaboration to tap from the MPC wealth of experience in data collection.
Right away, for the commission, we are designating our head of research and the commission secretary to meet with your team to quickly come out with the MOU on how we are going to collaborate so that the action will start now.
The Chairman National Population Commission, Nasiru Isa Kwara, who highlighted some of the areas of collaboration, which includes to conduct household surveys and socio-economic assessment to gather data on living conditions, health and education of the people, to develop comprehensive geospatial maps of the Northeast that highlights population density, infrastructure, and resource distribution of the region.
Collection of data that will help the agencies, environment and climate change, so that we can really support them in doing their work better.
There were exchange of souvenirs and other relevant documents by both parties. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
National Working Committee of Labour Party has resolved to henceforth take disciplinary action against members of groups causing crisis in the party. National chairman of the party, Julius Abure, presented the communique after the NWC meeting with a call on all stakeholders to adhere to the court judgment recognizing the NTAi Convention. David Ayere was there.
The meeting of the NWC was premised on an alleged plan by the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, to call a NEC meeting of the party with the aim of dissolving the NWC and constituting a caretaker committee to run the party. The NWC is wondering how the governor and others backing the idea intend to execute such plan in violation of the High Court judgment, which declared the March convention of the party as duly conducted.
It must be stressed that under the laws of the land, which include the following: the 1999 Constitution, the Electoral Act 2022, the Labour Party Constitution, and indeed all other laws of the land, were adhered to in convening that convention. Article 14 of the Labour Party Constitution provides that it is only the national chairman and the national secretary of the party who can convene the meeting of the National Working Committee, National Executive Committee, and the National Convention or any other meeting of the party.
The chairman also expressed concerns about the refusal by INEC to officially communicate with the NWC despite being served the judgment of the court.
We've done 2 correspondences to INEC because I believe, and we believe strongly, that government business is conducted through communications, official communications, and correspondences. And we have done 2-3 correspondences to INEC, and we await those correspondences. And then thereafter, if there is none, we know what to do.
The party is optimistic that it will be victorious in the coming off-season governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states, but wants all stakeholders to be on the same page with the NWC to be more formidable ahead of the 2027 general elections. In Abuja, David Ayere, NTA News.
And that's the news on NTA International. Thanks for watching. I am Nancy Godiangunehu. John Bamidele has been our sign language personality. Bye.